I could help these guys anti-bitter.
Right now.
The standard of truth has been erected.
Stop playing defense.
You're absolutely right.
No unhallowed hand can stop the broadcast.
That is the way that a lot of Latter-day Saints do apologetics.
Cancel culture rages and mobs combine.
We actually had one of the protesters over for dinner.
Right
But
now.
the truth of God will go forth boldly
These people are lying to you. They do not care about you.
until it has reached every television, sounded in every iPhone, and reached every person. This signal will continue to go forth. Here we defend truth. Here we denounce deception. Here we are created in the image of God. Our detractors call us crazy, but our friends call us.
Tell me who you are, get in the car right now. You spin the stars, I want it all right now. Right now. Right now.
All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ward Radio live stream. I am your host, Cardin Ellis. Glad to be here, joined by Brittany the Shadow. And yeah, we totally got a fun live stream today. Holy smoke, everybody's all up in the chat already. Make sure, hey, if you got any special topics that you guys want to talk about today while we are in the stream, make sure you just throw it up there. Obviously, priority will be given to members of our channel as well. If you'd like to join, please make sure that you join the channel. It's that little join button underneath. And as you're coming into the stream, please make sure that you like the stream on your way in. It tells the algorithms that this is stuff that you like participating in. This is a group you like chilling with. And yeah, if this could be the day that we earn your subscription, you haven't yet subscribed, please let this be the day that we earn your subscription. And as always, if you have anything germane to the conversation, anything that you want to say, please send us a super chat. And we're going to make sure that, you know, we do our best to read it on air and have you join the conversation. So yeah, we're really excited to be here. See, Paulie Nikes is here, says, whoop, whoop, another Ward Radio live stream. That's right, Paulie Nikes. Still going to reach out. That's on my to-do list. And Luke, you know, mentions that his oldest son resisted church in his teen years, but he expressed a lot lately of deep gratitude for making him go and not giving into his immaturity. Look, I usually don't, you know, opine in all of the intra-member conversations in the chat, let you guys do your thing, but I will give my 2 cents worth on that one. When I was on my mission, and this is a complete and total aside to what we're going to talk about today, but hey, we're just waiting for people to come into the chat. Always takes the first 5 to 10 minutes for everybody to get here anyway. So we got some time to warm up. You know, it's like that cringy spiritual thought at the beginning of seminary before like the real speaker comes in. How was seminary for you, babe?
The times that I went.
Yeah, like the 2 times. Yeah, actually, the fact you didn't graduate from seminary was like.
No, I did graduate from seminary.
Well, the fact that you barely ever went and basically flirted enough with your seminary teacher for him to give you a passing grade.
I didn't flirt with him. He just really liked me. I mean,
yeah. Okay.
It can't be taught.
It can't be taught. Yeah. That was like one of the only red flags. I was like, dude, she doesn't take church seriously. You know, it was kind of fun.
I take it seriously. It's just, sorry. I was also.
It's a different beast in California.
Hey,
I get it.
I was a really good student. I was a semi-pro ballerina, waking up for seminary to start at 6:30 when I had to drive like 20 minutes to get there. Yeah, it was rough.
No, I feel you. I feel you, girlfriend. I feel you. So no judgment here. Hey, I married you, didn't I? I married you. Yeah. Best decision of my life and yours.
Thanks for making an exception for me.
So anyway, I will say, Danny Gray, you know, people all the time would tell me this in Argentina. It's a very secular talking point. It's there's this zeitgeist that exists amongst anti-Mormons with rehearsed and repetitive talking points that even though they've been debunked a million times, they repeat them. Well, there's also secular ones as well that may not be ostensibly anti-Mormon, but they're definitely repeated as though they were, right? So anyway, there's value in teaching your children something because nothing is not an option. And this is the example I would always give. My father loved basketball. March was March Madness month. He was a huge basketball fan. He played in college. He played his entire life growing up. I always lived at the church buildings at least 3 nights a week when he was playing basketball. I would go down to, I've been to every gym in Los Angeles because besides playing in the rec basketball league and besides playing in the church basketball league, he played in a basketball league just for members of back then what was the Big Eight accounting firms that ended up getting whittled down to the Big Six and the Big Five. We're talking like Price Waterhouse, Deloitte, all of those big accounting firms that would be in the sky rises down in LA, right? They had their own basketball leagues for all of the accountants even. And I went to every gym that could be rented out to that basketball league. From downtown Los Angeles to the weirdest suburbs to the strangest ghettos. As a small child, I was there.
Wasn't that so fun though? Like I remember going to like the basketball games. I remember going to the baseball games when they had it. Like that was the place to be.
Yeah, just run around with all the other kids.
Yeah,
you know
I miss that. I miss it.
Yeah, looking back when I was like down in the hood and would get in insult competitions with other kids below the bleachers, I'm like, man.
Were you like down on Normandy or where were you?
No, dude, we were some in seedy neighborhoods. I was like, man, how did I not get shot? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, how did I run my mouth and get in trouble with the wrong person, right?
Oh, man.
So anyway, I got to tell you that though my dad was a huge basketball fan and I did not end up being the basketball player that he would love. I did indeed play basketball and stuff like that, but in volleyball, I gravitated towards soccer. In high school, I gravitated towards volleyball. I gravitated towards soccer, gravitated towards the arts, performance, radio, podcasting, movie making, so on and so forth. I learned an insanely valuable lesson from him though, because every day he coached 22 of my teams. And every day he was like, if you want to be a good basketball player, you have to dribble the quarter mile to the basketball hoop that our association has, and you got to take 100 free throws and then you dribble back. And every day I had to do that when you remind me. Same with piano. I had to practice piano for half an hour. And, you know, though I didn't end up becoming a basketball player, I became a volleyball and a soccer player. I became a podcaster and so on and so forth. The lesson that he taught me of just dribbling that quarter mile, taking those 100 free throws and then dribbling back, that unglamorous daily duty that you have to do if you want to excel and you want to succeed was so invaluable. And I take that with me throughout the rest of my life. How many times do I come home, babe, and I say, okay, I got to what?
Edit.
Yeah, I got to edit. And I know that I got to edit one piece of media every single day. And maybe that one piece will turn to 2 or 3 if I have extra time.
And then I double and then I triple whatever you tell me. And then I know that's when you're going to be home.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I do take that because in order to excel in YouTube, you have to be posting daily. You have to be working daily. You can't just leave things for large swaths of time. Same with scripture reading. Same with physical health, with spiritual health, with mental health, so on and so forth. There's these daily exercises that have to be done, and nothing teaches better those daily exercises than coaches who tell you to do them in Little League and so on and so forth. So it was so interesting. I just remembered a quote by Walt Disney, the original gangster of film, television, and cartoons, said that he thought nothing else taught the teamwork necessary of filmmaking besides what? You'll never believe it, babe.
What?
When Walt Disney was asked what he thought was the best training mechanism for teaching the art of filmmaking and cartoons and everything, guess what he said it was?
I don't know.
Little League baseball.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
That was not on my bingo card.
Yeah, I was surprised when I saw it too, but no joke. I have the incredible quotable Walt Disney or something. It's a book that I bought of Walt Disney quotes, and he lauds Little League baseball as the thing that teaches you best how to do how to understand the team sport / the team project-based activity that is filmmaking. So
well, now I want to watch The Sandlot.
Yeah, exactly, man. So, hey, keepers of the chats. We got our first super chat today from one Danny Gray.
Danny Gray says, okay, Cardin, y'all go after the Burger King priest, but I'm going to tell you, I watched School of Rock last night, and you locked down Jack Black like a pro, my brother. All I saw was Cardin shredding guitar. I will tell you.
No, you're not hardcore unless you live hardcore.
Hello.
And the legend of the rent was way hardcore.
There you go.
Actually, no, I totally love that. Thank you very much for the compliment.
The amount of times people have told Carden he looks like Jack Black, I would be a millionaire. There's so many people that think he looks like Jack Black. I kind of see it. Not totally. I kind of see it.
Well, I'm a little bit embarrassed, though, because when I was a young man, people said I looked like Vanilla Ice.
Really?
Oh, my gosh. I got Vanilla Ice all the time. Then I started lifting some weights, and then during my mission, I got Ivan Drago from Rocky IV. The guy that says, I must break you.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, you don't know who Ivan Drago is?
I've never seen the Rocky movies.
Oh, babe. You are... Well, you're not missing out a ton.
I don't think I'm missing out.
It's part of the cultural lexicon. Okay, so it's part of the cultural lexicon, but I'm going to show you exactly what.
Can I tell the chat someone else that people say you look like a lot?
Yeah, sure. Who is it? What?
Okay, who watches Stranger Things? You know, Hopper.
Oh,
People always
Chief
say
Hopper.
Carden looks like Chief Hopper.
Ah, okay, cool. So look at this one, babe. This is Ivan Drago. Okay, so I'm
Sounds
gonna
like
show
someone in
this
Game
one.
of Thrones.
It does sound kind of Game of Thrones-y. But anyway, this right here is Ivan Drago. I'm going to blow up the picture a little bit so you guys can see it.
Okay.
But when I was on my mission, I used to
I
get
can
that
see it.
all
Yeah.
the time. Yeah. And then it's embarrassing, but then I lost a little bit of weight, and then I got Ashton Kutcher.
Ooh.
So I went from Vanilla Ice, everybody'd say Vanilla Ice, to Ivan Drago, to Ashton Kutcher when I thinned out again. And then I started gaining weight once I got on that chemo stuff. And then now
We fluctuate.
now
It's okay.
everybody says Chief Hopper. Oh, we gotta look
Okay, and
this
also
one up
I'm
for the
gonna go up
audience.
to your parents' house and I'm gonna get down this picture of you. I think it's when you were in like junior high.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a picture of you that your mom has framed.
Yeah.
You legit look like Sid from Toy Story.
Oh, I was Sid from Toy Story.
Yeah.
For my my freshman year in college Halloween costume.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. No. My sophomore year in high school Halloween costume because I still had my braces and everybody
So maybe
said
it was
I
a high
looked
school
like,
picture that she has
Yeah.
framed, but you legit look like Sid from Toy Story.
Yeah, that's kind of embarrassing, but I will admit it. It's true.
It's not embarrassing. He was like the cool bad kid who
Well,
was probably a serial killer now.
I don't know if I call him the cool bad kid. He was kind
Depends
of
on who you talk to, I guess.
He was like the sociopath bad kid, you know. But yeah, now indeed I do.
See,
get
I think
Chief
you look
Hopper.
more like Hopper than Jack Black.
You think I look more like Hopper than Jack Black?
Yeah.
I'll take Dolph Lundgren over Jack Black, but I got to get yoked again. So anyway, what do people say? Who do people say you look like? We got Audrey Hepburn a lot when you were married, when we first got married.
I've gotten Audrey
But then-
Hepburn. I've gotten Keira Knightley.
Yeah, but it's weird. People come up and they start asking you if you're Middle Eastern a lot. That's happened a couple times.
People
since
think
we
I'm
got-
Persian.
Yeah, that's wild.
I don't know.
man. That's wild.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, he says, okay, Carden, y'all go after the Burger King priest, but I'm going to tell you, I watched School of Rock last night. You locked down Jack Black like a pro, my brother. All I saw was Carden shredding his guitar. Hey, it's a great film. We got another film coming out like it. It's going to be called Sister Hairdresser. It's pretty funny. It's pretty awesome. Kind of has similar vibes. And I can't wait to show it to you guys when it comes out. And then hopefully we go back to looking like Ivan Drago before that happens. So I look halfway decent on the press releases. That's one of the better comments. We've had a pretty hardcore week of videos this week with some wild comments, man. Have you been reading the comments, babe?
No.
Oh, you haven't? Oh,
No.
jeez, dude.
Well, I read some.
Come
can't remember.
on. You got in there and you were defensive.
There was
yeah.
one video. I can't remember what it was though, but I read almost every comment. But then I haven't read the comments for a few videos, so I'm sporadic.
Okay, well, look, I haven't, of course, because I have to respond to them.
Yeah.
And so I thought that it would be totally awesome for all of us to just go over these comments, see what's going on. Then there's so much to talk about culturally. I mean, there's some hilarious TikToks. We've got the boycotts are working. P.S. Have you noticed that the boycotts are working?
Which boycotts?
Dude, what have you boycotted the past year?
Target.
Conservative moms have finally figured out that boycotting works, that you vote with your dollars. You don't just sit there, because if conservatives have a problem, it's that they sit back and whine instead of going out and becoming activists. The left is far better at being activists than conservatives are. But this year, finally, moms have become activists on, I can functionally think three major things. First one you mentioned was what?
Target.
Okay. Who in the chat boycotted Target over the past year? Like, and by the way, I don't mean like a hardcore boycott, like you were out there protesting.
Okay, because
like
I
you
have
were-
a confession to make.
You probably
actually-
slipped.
I bought something from Target today. But I haven't bought anything for probably close to like 8 months to a year. Like, I really don't shop at Target that much.
Yeah, well, see, here's the deal. Part of the reason why you didn't shop at Target a lot was because you were turned off by what that happened within the past 6 months.
Like the whole the kids things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was the so off-putting. You're like, okay, fine. I'm not going to go out there and I'm not going to pick it, but I'm going to do a conservative effort to avoid that institution where possible. I'm getting a bunch of people in the chat right now. Somebody says, I'm sorry, I don't boycott. Well, you better learn. You better get used to it, because that's unfortunately the method. Wokeism persists in our society because corporate America thinks it's profitable. And until, I don't even like using the term conservative, but Christian families who have family values understand their economic prowess just by sheer numbers. Until they start operating with these wholly ethical methods of activism, such as a boycott, they will forever get trampled on, because the activists on the left will make the corporations either fear them, so they just go along with them because it's more worth it just to go along with them, or actually proactively assist them because they're fooled into thinking that it's profitable. But finally this year, it's the first time in my life where in my adult life and really in any kind of memory where I can think where something was targeted for a boycott, no pun intended. And it's the ladies that held the power on this, said, okay, cool. We're not going to go to Target. And guess what's happened? Hundreds of millions lost.
They just tanked.
Hundreds of millions. They fired. Oh my gosh. Look at, I should have.
Did they get a new board of directors?
They're getting new everything. They've fired diversity, equity and inclusion folks. They've liquidated entire programs. They've said no to woke products. They tried to bring another woke product back. I think it was woke Barbie or something like, I don't remember.
Woke Barbie.
But they have suffered the consequences of the boycotts. Now, second thing, what's another major? Previously, your average Christian mommy went to Target during the day, and then she plopped her kids in front of
Disney.
Disney, specifically what?
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
Yeah. We canceled ours.
You canceled yours. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now tell me, what are your honest thoughts on Disney Plus?
Okay, I'm torn on Disney because sometimes I feel like Christian mommies kind of go the extreme route. And then sometimes I feel like...
When you say go the extreme route, you mean they kind of speak hyperbolically and look into things too much? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like the whole like Little Mermaid live action movie, right? Everyone was calling to boycott that. I took my kids to Little Mermaid. I loved it. I didn't see anything wrong with it.
And then also in the scene in... the live action Beauty of the Beast, where they said, oh, the guy's cross-dressing.
Yeah.
When it was actually just a repeat of a funny scene in the animated.
Exactly.
Yes.
So they go a little extreme where, I don't know. But then I also know that Disney can just start slowly indoctrinating, and it's step by step by step. So
and
I'm kind of caught in the middle. So I kind of just use my discretion and my mom gut for what's best for me and my kids.
Exactly. And they've been actively promoting the T of the alphabet. The fourth letter of the alphabet, people, has been heavily promoted and overrepresented in Disney to such a degree that it's no longer representation of a reality, but perceivably a promotion thereof. And a lot of people say, I don't feel comfortable with this. It's one thing to say, yes, we need to treat other people that don't feel the same way as we do, respectfully and as human beings and children of God. But it's another thing to actively promote this on a platform where I'm used to being able to kind of plop my kid down, let him choose what he wants to watch, give him an hour in front of Disney Plus, and know he's safe. When now they're bumping out, it's not just sliding in something funny in the background. like they did in Frozen. It's not like insinuations that you understand years later, like, with Elsa or in Shrek or things like that. All of us can laugh in that. It's abject promotion, and they cross that line. And so a lot of parents didn't feel comfortable, pulled out, and boom, Disney Plus paid the price, and good on the people that were promoting that. Not like half boycott. I'd call it a half caught. All right. And then the third thing, which is very interesting. Did you see the hullabaloo of the California Teachers Association? Sorry, no, not the California Teachers Association. That's CTA. I think it's NEA, which is the National Education Association. The head of the teachers union in California literally just went on record yesterday saying, I don't know why so many parents are pulling out of public schools when public schools are so good. Could you illuminate us as to why?
This is just for California? Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
it's crazy. I'm going to look it up. It was just a reason article
because
today.
we had horrific COVID measures on our kids. I pulled my kids out because I didn't want them sitting in a mask. Then there was talks that they were going to mandate the COVID schmack sheen. Do I have to code that?
Yeah, I don't know.
And did not make me comfortable. I don't want to be in a mask for that long. I didn't want my 6-year-old in one for that long.
Yeah.
So I pulled my kids out. They're back now in public school. Again, I just kind of follow my mom gut. I'm not going to totally boycott public school forever. I do see the benefit of it, but again, I use my mom
and then
gut.
also, come on, they passed all of those ABs in which they were trying to make it so that teachers could trans your kids without having to report it. And
that's more, I think, for more junior high and high school, right? I don't think it's elementary.
Yeah, but it was the public sector,
okay,
which peed in the pool of the public sector, and it made a lot of mommies just like you say, okay, my gut says this isn't good for my family and my kids. Too much noise.
And I
withdraw.
reevaluate every year. I mean, I've had so many conversations with Cardin about this with homeschool. I homeschooled for 2 years, and honestly, it was really hard. I liked some days, other days I hated it. So that's why my kids are back in public school. But every year I'm going to reevaluate. I'm scared crapless about junior high because of the things that I've heard that happen in the junior high around here. So I don't know what to do about that one, but I have a couple years to figure that out.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, got a couple of super chats here really fast.
Oh, okay.
Keepers of the chats. Keep us up with the chat.
Okay, ready? I think the next one is Jared Anderson. Can you tell the story of how you met Brad and Kwaku?
Oh, how I met Brad and Kwaku. Okay, it's actually a very simple story. A long time ago, I was going to make a rebuttal for the CES letter. Had a kind of traumatic experience with a very good friend of mine that went really woke really fast. Got on the anti-Mormon woke train with the CES letter. The last conversation I had with him was about the CES letter before all of a sudden he's posting on Facebook, how racist Mormons are and how... you guys have all been through it, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, the diatribe that must be put out on Facebook, that all of a sudden, in the vein of revisionist history, completely revises the reality of your relationship with that person into something that it wasn't just in real life, so it can get along with ex-Mormon subreddit in digital life. I don't know what it is, but he does the big long diatribe. I lost one of my dearest friends, and it was traumatic for me. So I was going to pony up. I always put my money where my mouth is. I'm a liberal, and I believe in action. Be the change that you want to see. And I was frustrated that a friend of mine could get duped by a letter who literally makes arguments that cities that didn't even exist in the 1820s and 30s that have only vague associations with the geography surrounding Joseph Smith's home in comparison to real locations in the Book of Mormon must have been the precursors thereof, and that he was a charlatan who simply was trying to take the Great Lakes area and superimpose it onto the Book of Mormon in order to deceive thousands of people to what? Just go get shot? Just these arguments were so bad. I don't know if I was more disappointed in my friend for believing them or in the person that published them for just being so deceptive in ways that were so demonstrably false, right? So I decided I was going to make a response to the CES letter, at which point I reached out to FAIR and I said, hey, look, I want to do a response to the CES letter. I read a couple of their articles and the answers are out there. They're just not packaged well. So I wanted to do a really cool just podcast series like this, where I just talked about my thoughts on the CES letter, and then just kind of went through chapter by chapter and said, hey, this is why I think this is garbage, and this is why I think this is taken out of context or out of proportion, or so on and so forth. And the next day, the director of FAIR got back to me and said, hey, we've been wanting to do this for a while. We saw your stuff. Obviously, you're a professional guy. You know what you're doing. Would you consider teaming up with us? And I said, yes, absolutely. And I said, well, we're going to need a crew. And I was the crew technically with my expertise in this. And I said, but, the more the merrier. Why don't we check out this guy? I had just seen Kwaku's debate with Apologia Studios earlier that week. And so I said, let's reach out to this guy. And through a friend of a friend of a friend, I was able to contact Kwaku. We met him. And that's how This Is the Show was born. And ultimately, the funny part is, I didn't even want to name it This Is the Show. Technically, neither did Kwaku, but that was what
I will vouch for that. We had name brainstorming sessions, and all of a sudden it was
supposed to be Saints Unleashed, but all of the Saints Unscripted people who verbally had said yes all of a sudden threatened to sue us because they believe in the Mormon caste system, as Kwaku says. So it was pretty bad. And I would actually not believe that claim that Kwaku made had they not taken the only black kid on the entire show off every single thumbnail. Okay.
Can I say the other name that I liked?
What?
Or are we going to use it for something?
No, what?
I liked Salty Saints.
Oh, yeah, that was another one that that John, the director of Fair Mormon, liked as well, was Salty Saints. I thought that was a little bit too negative, though, all right? But we had actually filmed the initial version of it as Saints Unleashed instead of Saints Unscripted. Then the whole name thing debacle happened. We had to refilm the entire thing all over again. And originally, Kwaku had secured a female co-host. It was going to be him and another comedian friend of his that was a beautiful, talented, entertainment polymath, shall we say. And unfortunately, it was either due to pregnancy or due to something with their marriage or some kind of family thing. I don't remember what it was. But she ended up having to bow out at the last minute. And so Kwaku called Brad. And Brad ended up being the co-host for This Is the Show. And we ended up just meeting that way. We were friends. We worked together. We got along. Anybody that does theater knows that your theater friends end up being some of your just deepest friends. Anybody that's done show choir, that's done regular choir, that's done ballet, knows that the friends that you perform with and that you try and get this production off the ground with are a very unique kind of special. And so, yeah, that's how we all became friends. I'm sorry, that was a very verbose explanation for how I met Brad.
I don't remember how I met them. I think they just showed up at our house one day. I really don't remember the first time.
Yeah, well, I said I've got some friends coming down because we're going to do this podcast.
And I was like, okay. And then they came to my house.
And my kids started putting pieces of pizza on Kwaku's face as he slept on the air mattress in the living room.
I don't think Kwaku was too happy about that.
And put Frosted Flakes in his shoes.
Yeah.
So
without the milk, it was just dry cereal.
It was only dry cereal.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And our kids couldn't say his name, so they just called him the boy.
Yeah, they're like, the boy in the living room. And it's like, well, he's technically an adult male. Although, looking back, Kwaku looked so young.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he doesn't know what his birthday is, because, he's said this before, so I'm not divulging anything personal. But he was born in a cult. They don't know his address. He was a home birth to a polygamist father. It's not a Mormon cult. Totally different. Not going to mention the name
Moorish,
or so on and
right?
so forth. I don't say the name of it because I don't know how much details he's given out other than what he's given out on this show.
Oh, okay.
And so anyway, on the East Coast, he was born into a cult. And so his mom basically enrolled him in school when she thought it was kind of time for him to go, and he was smart enough for it. But he didn't actually know his birthday. So he could be as young as born in like 96 or like as late as 98 or 99.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like one of his IDs says it was like 96. Another ID says it was 1998. So he might have effectively actually started college as a 17-year-old. And I don't know, looking back at some of those videos, Kwaku was young.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen our first video all over again?
Not recently.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to pull it up right here. Hold on.
Right.
I'm literally going to pull it up.
While you're doing that, do you want me to say super chats?
Yes, read the super chats.
Okay. Kevin Nelson says, what's your take on Argentina's new president?
Oh,
Oh boy. He's got an opinion.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Look, for those of you that don't know, Argentina's new president. Do you know about Argentina's new president?
No, I have no idea.
They have elected a legitimate libertarian. Okay, this is...
No wonder you like it.
Oh, no, this guy is... No, it's not this cat right here. That's an advertisement. Dang it. Hold on. I gotta turn down the sound so that I can play this video. All right, but this new president, he looks like a... Like, I don't know whether it's a movie villain or whether he looks like a superhero or a comedian. I don't know, but watch here. We're gonna play this really fast from The Guardian. Here we go.
Turismo y deporte, afuera. Ministerio de Cultura, afuera. Gastar y gastar y gastar y gastar.
Es un piquetero. Ahí está.
Okay, so this right here, this is el nuevo presidente, all right? He literally was a media personality. I get it's similar to Trump, but almost even more active. Like Trump did The Apprentice. This guy was on like late night shows talking about like literally saying that, okay, these are the programs we need to do away with in our society, all right?
Si no le aflojan al gato, entonces la crisis vendrá.
Look at that. Look at that. You have a president now in Argentina who, as a media personality, would literally just get on camera wearing, look at that. This, you can't make this up. This is awesome.
Is he like sane?
Oh, he's totally sane. And see, that's the actual problem. He makes a really, really good argument. Okay. He goes out and, for example, in this famous, look this up right here. This is a famous clip of him right here. This was like a viral TikTok as of like 48 hours ago. Okay. He literally went and put every single department of the government that he thought was unnecessary on a whiteboard and would rip it off the whiteboard, and fuera means you're out of here. Just like, or like, get out of here. You say that to a small dog if you tell him to get out. You say fuera, right? So listen what this guy says right here.
Ministerio de Cultura, afuera.
He's literally saying the Ministry of Culture, afuera. Okay, hold on.
Gastar.
Oh, whoops. No. We got to go back to the beginning of that clip. Here it is.
Afuera. Ministerio de Cultura, afuera.
Yeah, so he went along the whole entire thing. Look, he threatened to like take to the central banking system a chainsaw, and he de-chains a chainsaw and goes out into the crowd waving the chainsaw around, right? Like,
Turismo y deporte, afuera. Ministerio de Cultura, afuera.
So
Like-
it seems like he's like Argentina's version of Trump.
dude, beyond Trump.
Maybe beyond Trump.
This guy is pure spectacle and genius. But what's funny is I've listened to him and he's actually extremely erudite. This is a smart guy. Part of the reason why he's so dangerous, and he was able to win 56% of the vote. Okay. He won 56% of the vote is because he was able to articulate in simple terms why socialist policies were bankrupting the nation and driving inflation. And the average Argentine who was living paycheck to paycheck because the inflation was getting away from him, he was able to make the argument and say, look, what has the Ministerio de Cultura done for you? It drives up the cost of everything. It doesn't effectively give you better culture in your schools. We should get rid of it. Afuera. And with the money we save, now inflation goes down. You'll be able to keep more of your paycheck. He was able to actually do a good
let's
job.
hope he keeps his promises.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always weary about politicians. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that counts as a politician. If you're wearing like, this is genius, man. So, basically he it's pretty true everything that the Guardian says here, that Milei was elected after millions of voters blamed the economic crisis on government corruption and mismanagement, which is totally true. Argentina's fall from grace is one of the most well-documented and precipitous declines, wholeheartedly and 100% due to socialism. At the turn of last century, Argentina was more wealthy than the United States of America, both per capita, had more factories per capita, and their peso was worth more than the dollar. In fact, it was a common phrase in the early 1900s. Oh, he's as wealthy as an Argentine, because Argentina was such a wealthy country. It not only rivaled, but surpassed the United States of America. But due to Juan Dominguez Perón and unfortunately Evita Perón, it was just in steady decline for a long time, and now this guy is literally making all the right moves.
Okay, but can we talk about the movie Evita portrayed, or Madonna portrayed her? I love that movie.
Well, you have to, because it portrayed a socialist, therefore it would be in a positive light.
I don't know. I really like that movie, though.
Yeah, well, dude, look at this, dude. People are literally... This guy, I love this cat. I love this cat, man.
Okay, you ready for more super chats?
Yeah, we got to listen to one last thing that he says.
No hay lugar para la tibieza. No hay lugar para medias tintas.
Literally, everything that guy just said could be said about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. There is no time for half measures. Look at that last phrase. Look, he says, Argentina's situation is critical. Let's hear what he has to say.
Crítica. Los cambios que nuestro país necesita son drásticos.
He says the changes that our country needs to see are drastic.
No hay lugar para gradualismo.
There's no room for gradualism.
No hay lugar para la tibieza.
There's no room for like lukewarmness.
No hay lugar para medias tintas.
Yeah, there's no room for half measures or measured or half-baked fixes, right? Boom, that's where we're at. That's the message, baby. Ground it and pound it, and you win that election. I love it. And he did it completely uphill.
How many years is the presidency's term in Argentina?
I think they have 4-year presidencies as well, as long as you're not resigning because you got caught embezzling money. When I was the year before I was there, they'd had 7 presidents in 11 days.
Dang.
Yeah, it was bad, dude. Not quite as bad as if you cross street wrong, jail. You order chicken wrong, jail. Have you ever seen that SNL?
No.
Of the South American dictator? Oh, the Latino South American dictator puts on this whole dictator outfit and he just lists all the reasons why you might go to jail. And he says funny things like, you put the toilet paper on, jail.
Sounds like Singapore.
You've never seen that one, babe?
No. But I remember going to Singapore to visit my grandparents, and everyone like freaked me out that I couldn't chew gum, which is true. You can't chew gum in that country. Otherwise, you go to jail.
Yeah. This is, sorry, it's not SNL. It's Parks and Rec.
Introducing
I've never seen that show.
Okay, so Parks and Rec was a funny comedy show similar to SNL. That's probably why.
You're holding coffee.
This is outrageous. Where are the armed men who come in to take the protesters away? Where are they? This kind of behavior is never tolerated in Baracua.
So he makes up a fake country called Baracua, right? And then he ends up saying all the reasons why you might go to jail in Baracua.
You shout like that, they put you in jail right away. No trial, no nothing. Journalists, we have a special jail for journalists.
Like he says all of the things that would just be considered heinous in America, right?
You're stealing, right to jail. You're playing music too loud, right to jail, right away.
Right to jail, right away.
So anyway, to the audience, you guys got to go and check that video out. It's hilarious. If you just look up SNL jail, the Parks and Recs video actually comes up. So many people confused it with SNL, just like I did, but it was Parks and Rec. Okay, catch us up on the super chats, babe.
Okay, Polly Nikes 2000 says, related to the Target boycott, Cardin, you should screen the Husbands of Target video here for Ward Radio FHE. I think you've seen that.
Oh, Husbands of Target is funny.
I think I showed you that.
Yeah, that's funny. I'm going to see if I can pull up a brief clip without getting a copyright strike. Okay, and while you're doing that, whoops. Here's Husbands of Target. This is a 4-minute long video, but it is such pure gold. We're going to have to show a couple of clips. We'll just show the intro right here. Do you want to do that now? Just really fast. Yeah, here we go.
You know, I mean, we're not a boys' club or a social club. We're just a group of husbands collectively waiting for our wives.
Every dude knows exactly what this guy's talking about right now.
in the Target parking lot.
I used to get so bored.
Hours and hours of waiting in the car.
Oh, this is the guy that did the Baby It's Cold Outside parody.
Yeah. The
Okay.
Holden?
Yeah, okay.
Him and his
And
wife.
hours of waiting in the car.
I thought it'd be a good idea one time to go in with the wife. Thought I could maybe scout out some camping gear, something like that. Just ended up holding her purse.
Yeah.
Eventually, I just started returning the carts just to stay busy,
And
get a little
Dude
exercise.
Dad, he's funny.
And then
Oh, dude, yeah. These guys.
Okay, but Carden, I want to know, can you relate to this video?
You're a very frugal person, so you don't.
I
just
don't like
dilly-dally.
shopping,
Yeah, you don't
so-
dilly dally. But there's other things.
Oh, like
There's
what?
other things. I would never dare mention them. I would never dare
Now
mention
I'm
them.
intrigued.
But I will say I felt this brother's pain. I felt this brother's pain. You know?
Interesting.
And so I think any good man has felt his pain. But you know what? There's times, babe, you have sat through generously so many podcasts I know you didn't want to be part of. Or at least parts of the podcast you don't want to be part of. Yeah, Home Depot. Well, that's because I'm fixing our house.
Yeah,
you know what
but
I'm saying?
still, you drag me along.
Yeah, because you're hot and you're fun, and guys like hanging out with hot and fun chicks.
Actually, remember when I was pregnant? I would always want to go to Home Depot with
Yeah,
you.
that was wild.
I can't remember if it was with Ryder or Elizabeth. It must have been with Ryder, my first pregnancy. Yeah, I would just love to go and walk down the lumber aisle and just smell the freshly cut wood.
Yeah, you would sit in the wood section just.
It smelled
was-
so divine. I can't even explain it. Pregnancy's weird. I don't know.
Okay, catch us up with Super Chat.
Okay, well, first, do you want to do Jonah's job, Mr. Ward Librarian?
Oh
or
my
me?
gosh, I forgot to say earlier today, a guy named Samuel joined during the live commentary of the premiere. Cody, the Oracle, just went to church with us for the first time, and a guy by the name of Samuel actually joined. So watch, here it is.
So do we need to put a W in the chat
Hold
for
on,
Samuel?
Cody's first time at church. I'm going to pull up the video so everybody can see. I want to make sure I get this guy's last name if I can get it really fast. But I think it was literally just Samuel. Let me see. I'm looking in the comments right here. Oh, it doesn't show it because the live chat was over. But yeah, Samuel, welcome to the show, my man. Not welcome to the show. Welcome to Ward Radio. We've received the records of Samuel. For everybody that would like to welcome Samuel into the Ward, please put a W in the chat. Oh, there it is right there. It says his name is Samuel Showerhammer. Ooh, I might have botched that one. But anyway, everybody that wants to welcome him to the Ward Radio Ward family, make sure the worldwide Ward Radio family, make sure you put a W in the chat. Thank you very much to everybody, and thank you to Samuel. Okay, keep going, Brittany.
Okay. Mana Scrooge says, what are the 4 phases of a Mormon podcast?
Oh, he's heard mention of that. Okay.
I don't know what that means.
I wrote them down one time, but if I can regurgitate them correctly. First is the I got to do this phase. You've seen something that you hated. You're a good liberal person that believes in being the change, being the difference. You stand up, you get up, you decide to fight, you want to do it, you're excited. It's first phase. Second phase, and in the first phase, there's some specific things that happen. In this first phase, usually good people, because good people want to make pro-LDS live streams, and they want to make pro-LDS content and pro-LDS podcasts because they see the value of the church and they understand how the lies getting told against the church and the misrepresentations against the church are actually just that, lies and misrepresentations. And they hear guys like me saying, yeah, so-and-so is a liar, and so-and-so is purposely misrepresenting us. They're lying. They're a bad person. This is evil, and it is anti-Mormonism. And since they're good people that have lived a beneficial life, both because of America's prosperity and the church's wealth and prosperity, both physical and spiritual, they say, oh, no, Carden, no. I'm sure this all can just get, this is a misunderstanding. It's not that they're lying bad people who profit off the church in home wreck for profit, like John DeLynn, like RFM, like Bill Reel, like any of these cats, okay? No, that can't be true. No, this is all just a big misunderstanding. And, you know, I'm going to clear it up, and I'm going to start a podcast where we address some of these misunderstandings, and we're going to have good chat. And just like in the book of Isaiah, it says, come, let us reason together. And, you know, we're going to clear this all up, and everybody's going to get along, because it is naive. In their naivete, they neither recognize the evil in its worst form truly exists, and B, that it has a name and a face that is recognizable. Just like sometimes it's hard for people to swallow the idea of modern prophets because they're used to the ancient ones and the ones that you can't really see and the ones that you can't actually turn on the TV and listen to. Sometimes the opposite happens. It's hard for them to also believe that truly cynical liars that would profit off the destruction of a family unit actually exist, right? In theory, they know it exists, but in practice, they don't. They're naive. And so step one is, I want to help. I want to be the change. Cardin and the guys speaking like that must be cynical. And they go out and they start their podcast. Then step two is they get burned, and they get burned by somebody outside of the church. And they think, well, that must have been just like a one-time deal. Or, you know, it really was just a misunderstanding. They called me racist, bigoted, homophobic, Islamophobic, whatever, you know. And they blew me up on ex-Mormon subreddit, or on it gave me bad Yelp reviews on my business or whatever. But it was a one-time deal. People really aren't that bad. Anti-Mormons aren't really that bad, are they? I don't know. But, you know, everything's Cardin saying about the incompetence of the church. Like, okay, so I know the anti-Mormons, that, okay, they exist, but there's no way that on our side there's, you know, problems. So then, boom, step three happens. They get burned by somebody in the church that they expected to be on their side, whether through gross incompetence, whether through backstabbing, whether through whatever. And then now they're ready for step four. After having been burned both by someone inside and outside the church that they thought should have been their friend or not as bad an enemy as possible or not as cynical as possible, they come around into step four, where they realize, holy crap, Cardin, Brad, Kwaku were right. Anti-Mormons do exist. They are evil, and they will give no quarter, and they do want the destruction of the church, and they hate me indeed simply for my act of being a faithful member of the church who doesn't deconstruct his faith just like they want me to. Okay. And I agree with Cardin. I agree with Brad. I agree with Kwaku. And they become seasoned veterans of the internet, of the bloggernacle, of the podcast realm. And they have what some would call a truly nuanced opinion. But they become seasoned veterans, and now they're ready to fight. But they're never ready to fight until they've gone through all 4 steps of a podcaster. And I know very, very, very few people that have. Some of the only people that I think have gone through all 4 steps are Daniel Peterson, Cardin Ellis, Brad Whitbeck, Kwaku L, and a select few other individuals who got lambasted in that crazy, like, section of the CES letter. Like, at this point, anti-Mormons and the CES letter is all but Osama bin Laden's letter to America. Like, literally, we are normalizing the rhetoric that leads to genocide. You look at what all of these young kids on TikTok this week have been doing, reposting the letter that OBL wrote pre 9/11, shall we say? Okay. If you actually, there's so many people on TikTok now going around saying, oh my gosh, I read Osama bin Laden's, letter to America, and it just changed me. I realized I've been lied to about America, and I've been lied to about the Middle East, and I haven't felt this level of angst since I deconstructed my Christian faith. Have you seen all of these ladies talking about how they feel their eyes have been opened now by that letter by that bad man more than when they deconstructed their Christian faith? And I'm like, wow, because that's what deconstructionism does. the same deconstructionism that made this woman lose her Christian faith is the same deconstructionism that allowed her to think that a literal terrorist who killed thousands in a cowardly attack is somehow the good guy. Okay? And I question now, because the rhetoric of those people is no different than the rhetoric of those other people in the 30s. And the way that anti-Mormons, especially on ex-Mormon subreddit, normalize speech that is violent in nature, is dehumanizing in nature, is mockery and satire, that's fine, okay? But if it were said about Jews, would be considered anti-Semitism. The way that anti-Mormons, especially ex-Mormon anti-Mormons, talk about faithful members of the church, I do wonder sometimes if factional violence or anti-Mormon terrorism is not coming. Like, we have completely normalized and allowed speech against members of our faith that, if said against Jews, would be considered anti-Semitic. And speaking of anti-Semitism, we are allowing speech in our public forum nowadays that, under the guise of divest and censure Israel, is really just anti-Semitism. And I think the world now is seeing just how anti-Semitic the left really is. And so, you know, I can go forever about this, but I will tell you right now, the way the CES letter, look at this, the way the CES letter talks about Kwaku, Brad, and anybody else that has ever disagreed with them, is literally, this is like it's literally like a strange terrorist manifesto, dude. Look at these debunkings, right? So they go here and they make their little hit list. You know what I'm saying? And there's, oh, yep, see, there's Daniel Peterson, whoever these poor people are. You know what I'm saying? We don't know, but this one's coming soon. They literally go through and then, like, they totally try and dehumanize. And they're posting old, like, I think they got my mugshot in here. They're trying to take things out of context. Oh yeah, that's back when I was skinny. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy how literally, yeah, look at that. They got my mugshot and they're trying to, dude, I mean, this is nuts. And they're trying to just, like, they're literally doing to faithful members of the church what anti-Semites do to Jews. You know, like, literally, this is what Nazi pamphlets trying to say that Jews are responsible through their usury for the debt crisis in Germany. That's what these tracts look like. If you want to know what a Nazi sympathizer sounded like, just go talk to your average ex-Mormon, anti-Mormon that dehumanizes members of the faith by giving them diminutive phrases like TBM and stuff like that. Like, we have an entire nomenclature that anti-Mormons use to dehumanize members of our church that is really no different than what the bad guys that followed the dude with the mustache used in the 1930s. So, and you don't have to be careful. You don't have to be careful against Mormons because, you know, that's all fair game in their mind because that's what Marxism allows you to do. And this is really just, make no mistake, it's proto-Marxism, it's cultural Marxism, as Jordan Peterson says it, and there's a reason why we had to show up with plate carriers in that debate. You can make threats against the life of active members of the church, and you're a hero. You're defending LGBTQ rights. Oh, you're defending women. You're defending, oh, and by that, don't have to back it up. I just need the slogan. And I can perpetrate any kind of violence or harm against anybody that's possible. I mean, and these are the people that say, oh, excommunication is violence and silence is violence. Meanwhile, you can literally threaten the life and or physical, corporeal well-being of an active member of our church, and you're a hero. So yeah, I have no respect for these people. And when I say this, it rubs a lot of active members that are unfamiliar with the internet and how evil these people really are. That makes them think, oh, Cardin, you must be speaking hyperbolically. No, look, these people are scouring the internet trying to dig up our mic shots. Like, that's psycho. You know, that's crazy. We are normalizing the rhetoric of genocide. And so I'm not the only one that says this. Just watch an interview with Dave Rubin and Brett Weinstein today. And it's not out of my mouth. That's out of theirs. You know, there's other organizations who've let the Mormon church know, wow, there's a lot of chatter online about you guys. Predominantly the FBI, famously arson and anti-Mormon violence against our churches and our organizations is up 14%, not according to us, according to the FBI. So, yeah, when you meet an anti-Mormon, you literally need to look at them as though a Jew would look at a neo-Nazi and understand that the vast majority of anti-Mormonism is not high-level thinking about the interpretation of Scripture, okay? It's people that hate you because of your faith. It's sad, but especially the kind that predominantly exists amongst ex-Mormon anti-Mormonism online and the discussions on things like ex-Mormon subreddit and things like that. If you don't, I don't want you to believe me. Go look it up yourselves. Go look it up yourselves. There is not rhetoric out there against the Mormon Church in the vast majority of forums, okay, that are dominated by these people that would not be considered anti-Semitic if it were said against Jews. Okay, so yeah, don't believe me? Go look it up. So anyway, let's keep going.
Do you want to do Jonah's job again?
Yes, I do.
Camden, welcome him to Ward Radio.
Camden, what's his last name?
It's just Camden.
Hey, Camden, we've received the records for Camden in the Worldwide Ward Radio family. We have to find another word besides family. It starts with a W, so it's a quadruple alliteration. The Worldwide Ward Radio has to start with a W or an R. Worldwide Ward Radio Wiki or Whamily, or I don't know what we could call it. The Worldwide Ward Radio Wigwam. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
So, yes, we've received the records for the Worldwide Ward Radio Ward Wigwam of, who is it?
Camden.
Of Camden. Everybody would like to welcome Camden to the Ward family. Please put a W in the chat. Make it a...
Oh, he confirmed his name is Camden Hastings.
Camden
Thank you,
Hastings.
Camden.
Great to have you, Camden Hastings. W for Camden Hastings. I'm going to do it again. Camden Hastings. We got to give him all the W's out there. Everybody get off your duffs and give him a W. This is how we show our support. W's in the chat. Love it. And Vocal Biscuit. That's a funny. I never noticed that member. Vocal
Ready
Biscuit.
to go on.
Wow, that's a great name. Okay, keep going, babe.
Another great name, Big Daddy D. Joe.
Whoa, Big Daddy D. Joe.
Just sends us a super chat. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Also, everybody in the chat, we're coming up on our end time here. We only got like another 5 to 10 minutes left. So if you guys got anything else you want to say, please make sure that you give us a super chat. And we still have responded to all of the comments and the haters. We're going to burn through that. We're going to burn through that. Yeah.
Okay, next super chat. Gerbrecht says, my son has been in Buenos Aires. How do you say that? Buenos Aires? West?
Buenos Aires, la capital federal
yeah.
de la República.
Okay, West for the last 3 weeks. The next 2 years are going to be lit. Keep up the good work. That's awesome.
You know, I'm a sucker for missionaries' parents. Whenever the missionaries are around, I'm like, dude, what's your parents' phone number? They're like, what? What are you talking about? I was like, yeah, just what is it? And they'll usually rattle off like their mom's cell phone number. And then I'll call him and I'll put it on speakerphone. I'll be like, hey, sister so-and-so, guess what? I'm standing next to your son. Yes, he's not allowed to talk to you, and I would never, ever want to break the mission rules. But if he happened to hear you say something, you know, and wanted to holler back, then yeah, I wouldn't stop it. You know, I would do that all the time. So the missionaries didn't have to feel guilty about talking to their moms. But then the moms like cry because they get to talk to their sons. Now that they're pansies and they got to talk weekly, it's not as cool as it used to be.
That's not a pansy thing.
Yes.
I don't like it when you say that.
We've emasculated the mission by making it so they can, you know, well, are you going to still breastfeed too? Like, come on. It's like weekly. Well, I didn't catch up with, maybe weekly when I was gone away. Like, look, we have so wimpied the mission experience. We've so wimpied it.
I don't think so.
Softened it.
No.
Yeah, if I could have my way,
if anyone
you'd have to
choosing,
etch in tablets. You would have to etch in stone a letter to your parents.
If anyone is choosing to put their life on hold for 2 years and go away from their friends and family, I don't think any of that is wimpy.
Okay, yeah. Somebody will change their diaper too? What is this?
Okay, the next super chat is Trevor Larson. Okay. He says, who are some of your favorite anti-Mormons to ad hominem on and why? I don't like that question.
Yeah, it's kind of a trap, but all of them are different, man. It's just I don't like. I do try and honestly focus on the argument because the arguments are eternal. They just get recycled. They get recycled. And they get recycled, and it's almost like every generation needs to be inoculated against 3 generation ago's arguments because it seems like they go in like 3-year cycles, right? You know, and so there's ones that I think that are more effective. And I'll tell you this, modern anti-Mormonism is so effective because a select few have mastered the art of cry-bullyism. And I'd probably say John Dehlin is the most effective at this, by far. Shrouding anti-Mormonism in some kind of self-help program for giving it cool scientific euphemisms such as informed consent and so on and so forth. Saying that, I'm here to help, purposely naming your show so you come across as Mormon. And when people from the Washington Post and NBC and ABC call you and say, we need commentary from a Mormon, he willingly lies about the fact that he's excommunicated member, and he tries to change the definition, as leftism and cultural Marxism allows you to do, of words in order to give you power over those you want to do harm to. And so what he does is he says, yes, I'm Mormon, as though, sorry, this isn't Judaism. We're not an ethno-religion. Okay, you're a member of our church when you've been baptized and you obey the covenants, and the elders of the church continue to regard you as one. But once you've been excommunicated, because the church priesthood leadership says, sorry, you're excommunicated, you're no longer a member. You're kicked out. Like, if you get cut from the football team, you can no longer walk around and say, I'm a professional football player. Yet he does. And he does this purposely to try and get onto different media outlets outside of the bloggernacle in order to do damage to the church and say things about us that are not true. And it's despicable, but it's effective. And that's what cultural Marxism demands, is power and efficacy, not ethical behavior, but effective behavior at doing damage to your opponent. Because the name of the game to them is about damage to us and reputational damage to the church, not about truth. And so, that's, I think cry-bullyism and those that are most effectively using cry-bullyism are the most effective anti-Mormons. So anyway, keep going.
Okay, hold on. I gotta scroll because the chat keeps going. Okay, I think the next one is Jonah Barnes.
Jonah!
He did not answer my phone call, but he's showing up in the chat.
He was supposed to be here today.
Yeah.
Boo.
Jonah. Okay, I'll read your super chat.
He's in
He
trouble.
says,
No,
we
just
need
kidding.
ward radiologists to debunk the CES letter. OTS been debunked. What's OTS? What does that mean?
OTS. Over the shoulder? That's in
We're
movies.
boomer. Okay, but OTS been debunked, but never as fun as Kwaku, Brad, and Cardin would do. And The Shadow. Thanks, Jonah.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
What's OTS mean? Now I'm perplexed.
Yeah, Jonah, elaborate, my friend. What is in filmmaking? OTS stands for over the shoulder. And when you're writing in the script,
we need
you
ward
say,
radiologists to debunk the CES letter. OTS been debunked, but never as fun as Kwaku,
I
Brad,
think you
and
might say
Cardin would do.
it's been debunked.
Oh, maybe
It's
that's what
been
it is.
debunked. Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
That would make sense.
Okay, cool, awesome.
Let's see. And then the Dove's Nest says, Kwaku always says the leaders are out of touch with today's youth.
Uh-huh.
Did you think Elder Cook's youth broadcast yesterday had out of touch boomer advice, or if it was pertinent for today's youth? I did not watch it.
That's a very good question, but in fact, we're going to get back to you on that one because I am begging and looking for leaders that get it. Now, Ahmed Corbett, he gets it when he talked about activism against the church, but it's only been in the past year that that's even been introduced into the nomenclature of our leadership. 2023, it took all the way until 2023 before our leadership recognized and named one of the most predominant avenues of anti-Mormonism out there that has existed online for 20 years, activism against the church. They gave it their own euphemism and they gave it their own definition and so on and so forth, but it coincides with reality enough that we know that we're talking about the exact same thing. And it's only until 2023 that we finally had a member of the church come out and say, okay, enough of this, enough of weaponizing our best values against us by twisting the interpretation of those values to fit your unchristlike goals and secular motives. Enough of that. We will not allow you to weaponize our goodness against us. So he called out cry-bullyism in a roundabout way, okay? And he did it positively in a way that I thought was a very good step forward, and that's why I thought that was such a good fireside. I've not seen specifically Elder Cooks. I will look it up now, okay? I've had some local meetings with some local GAs where I've just walked away from the minutes of that thinking, oof, these people don't get it. And I kind of think that until the majority of our leadership are not pre-internet, internet crybullyism will continue to do its damage. Now, fortunately, the damage is isolated. It's isolated basically to North America and the wealthiest countries of the West. Outside of our bubble, it just doesn't work. But it's very effective here. Why? Because we're wealthy. And crybullyism works against those that are too spoiled to understand or even have knowledge, because they're too many generations removed from the giants that got them to where they are. You know, we all stand on the shoulders of giants, and previous generations did not teach us the nature of their sacrifice. Only those of us who were kind of already interested in history in the first place really recognize how unique post-war America is in terms of its wealth, its prosperity, its increase in knowledge, both temporal and physical, and try not to take that for granted. But it's not a cultural aspect of our leadership. At least in North America, and that need not be. So I look forward to having leaders that get it more. And unfortunately, we have a lot of leaders that, frankly, their formative years were too pre-internet, and they're, our middle management. I don't know how to fix it. You know, sometimes I think our people on top are actually wildly more in the know than the people in the middle. Usually, the Peter principle dictates that you will, get promoted until you reach the point where you actually suck at your job, and then you'll kind of level out and stay there. And so the Peter principle dictates that generally people closer to the bottom will be better at their jobs, and so on and so forth. Our incompetence graph is unfortunately a hump where in the middle, the paid positions of bureaucracy meant to assist the priesthood end up, I think, in my opinion, holding it back in many regards. And we should go back to a pre-1977 leadership model in which the priesthood is in charge of much larger budgets and can use its own discretion and its own revelation in much more what I believe would be effective ways. But anyway, yeah, let's keep going. Brittany, catch us up on Super Chats.
Okay, Mana Scrooge says, what's the next episode about?
Oh, we got a couple of good ones. First off, redefinition of meekness and masculinity in a world that came after masculinity. That's another episode with Shane Baldwin, controversial character, but has a great message, I believe, on understanding the original Greek word of meekness and what it means. Throws in some Jordan Peterson there, so on and so forth. That one's guaranteed to make waves. Cody's also coming back and giving some suggestions from an outsider's perspective. For those of you guys that didn't see it today, it was pretty funny, but Cody, our buddy Cody, came to
I
church
love
with us.
Cody.
Yeah,
Who else loves Cody?
Yeah, we're just going to play a little intro of this so people get to see it if they haven't seen it yet. It's pretty hilarious.
Prediction is the thing that, the weirdest thing to me is how seemingly laid back it is.
You could be edgy and like.
No, I don't.
Get it blue.
I'm not looking to make a statement. I'm looking to blend in. I don't believe it. Oh wait, I don't believe it's just like super laid back. Like, yeah, a few minutes late, no one's really gonna say much. It's whatever. Just kind of get in when you get in.
Yeah. Hey guys, check it out. My buddy Cody decided to join my cute kids and my hot wife and come to church. And this Sunday was the day. Now, before taking him to our humble chapel, before gracing the BH2 award with his humble presence, we went out, we went shopping, we got him some cool Sunday best threads, taught him how to tie a tie on his own, and dragged him to the chapel sort of on time. He kind of got a baptism by fire in Mormon Standard Time. But either way,
oh gosh, you put me
being
getting
the
ready
intrepid, being the brave person
Yeah.
that he is, trying new things, he checked us out and has agreed to come back in the studio and give us his take. So it was a lot of fun. We enjoyed introducing him to the elders quorum and to our friends in the chapel and the foyer and all the other stragglers running around afterwards. He even got to shoot some hoops at the end of the day with some of the local kids, and it was a lot of fun. And he's going to come back. Yeah. So anyway, we did that whole thing, and Cody's coming back. Cody is actually going to come into the studio, and he's going to give us some of his suggestions about what he thinks might be fun things to improve from just a total layman's perspective, who's been there the first time, what his first thoughts and his opinions were. So that one's coming out today. And then also the apocryphal origin of the Magi, according to Jonah Barnes. He's dove into some apocryphal works that give some additional insight into our friends Balthazar, Malthiazor, and Gaspar. You know what I'm saying? The three magi. So anyway, yeah. Brittany, keep us up on super chats.
Okay, the next one is Carolyn.
Oh, Carolyn Wright Gaines music.
Yeah, there we go. She says, "Rock on, Ward Radio. Stand tall, y'all." Thank you, Carolyn.
All right.
Next one. Oh, Camden, our newest member, says, "Love this channel. You guys are hilarious." Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is awesome. Also, I just saw a great comment that said Cody's suggestion box. I love it. I think that might just have to be the title of the
way to go. I don't know who said that comment, but you just
the Dove's Nest, and the Dove's Nest is not a member.
Oh.
What are you doing? And why did I read your comment? It was so good. But now the Dove's Nest, you need to join.
Well, she super chatted, so
she did.
You can't get too mad at her.
That's true. She super chatted. She's off the hook.
I'm assuming it's a girl.
In fact, she's in our good graces.
Okay, cool.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, keep going.
Next one is Reapsters. Says, tips for how to stay buoyed up while experiencing persecution for speaking up about your beliefs. Also, just tuning in, so not sure if you've already discussed.
Oh, no, actually, that is a great discussion topic. And that was one of the comments that was made today during the video. In fact, we're just going to burn through some of these comments really fast because my eyes were opened in the comment section of the video that we did with Greg Mattson. Did you watch the video that we did with Greg Mattson recently, babe?
Yes, not the whole thing, but I watched part of it.
Yeah, okay. So Greg Mattson was talking about, I'm trying to see if I can find this, oh man, I'm just not coming across it. Is it right here? Oh, dang it. There was a sister in Greg Mattson's video. In fact, actually, I'm just going to look it up here in real time. Everybody in the audience knows that I absolutely hate doing this, but sometimes, it's 100% necessary. In the video that we did with Greg Mattson, where he talked about, I literally asked the question, is BYU going woke? All right. He straight up answered and said yes, and gave some measurable quantifiers in order to defend his thesis, right? But here's the comment that I couldn't believe, man. It was absolutely crazy. So I'm going to put this up on the...
Are we talking crazy good or crazy bad?
No, I felt bad for the girl.
Oh.
I'm going to put it up on the screen here so that everybody can see it, okay? But here, she said, as a recent BYU graduate, in the art department, I regularly spoke out as a conservative and received major hate from my peers and professors for trying to debate ideas. I have horror stories. I credit the hostile environment to the tanking of my mental health. Unfortunately, it didn't inspire my conservative friends to speak out. They learned from observing me that fighting back came at a serious cost, a cost they weren't willing to pay. And I said, oh man, I want to know more. And first off, yes, I believe that's a big problem with conservatives.
Should have transferred to BYU Idaho. That place ain't woke.
They've sat on the shoulders of giants, and it's not necessarily that they're brave conservative heroes. It's they're isolated from the woke urban centers is what's really going on. So before all BYU Idaho people pat themselves on the back, they have to realize, I don't know if they're up to the fight that us California Mormons have been doing for 25 years, all right?
I was a Californian at BYU Idaho.
Yeah, you're right. Well, you are strong and brave. So anyway, this girl said, you're not alone. I feel that way, but keep standing up. Lighthouses don't often get to see the others, the ships passing in the night, but keep shining. You're making a difference. Another person gave a lot of support, said, you did the right thing. I'm sorry you had to go through that, but it's so important. BYU's turned to the dark side. I'll have nothing to do with it. Hey, unfortunately, there's a lot of donors that have been feeling that way lately, and they've lost a lot of financial support. Another person saying, you are my hero. And then she said, it's Audrey Barth. And I was hoping that I would be able to contact her and get a couple more details about this. But she did go into a little bit more detail here and says, I'm grateful to everyone who has responded to my comment. Your love and support means a lot. One time I had this professor give us a short quiz with the question being something along the lines of, how can the part about gender and the family proclamation be interpreted differently than what leaders have said? Like, which is just like open sedition against, oh, dang it. I just lost it. Which is like open sedition against the doctrine of the church, right? And I mean, maybe as a thought experiment, okay, fine. But like, I really doubt coming out of the art department that it was necessarily packaged that way. So I kind of believe her when she says this is the way it went. So anyway, I pulled it back up here. She said it can't, meaning it can't be interpreted differently. We don't have the authority to do that. And I received a 0 on that quiz. So it just goes to show that it can also affect a student's grades. My friends and I often felt like my artwork was being graded more harshly due to my professors discriminating against me for the times I opposed their ideologies. I never tried to, quote, own anyone or be contentious. I just wanted to peacefully discuss in defense of the doctrine, but that's not really possible when the other side has already character assassinated you by labeling you a white, privileged, homophobic, transphobic, racist with internalized misogyny who is on the cusp of Nazi-loving white supremacy. No wonder they felt the need to convert me to their way of thinking before, quote, it was too late. So Ashley Barth had a horrible experience, and unfortunately was mirrored by a lot of what our boy Greg Mattson was saying other students felt like at BYU, which is a tough pill to swallow for those of us that remember a much better and stronger BYU that wasn't weakened by ideologies of frankly cowardly people. And I think right now our leaders are ill-suited due to their wealth and their separation from the fight to leading the fight, because the battlefield has changed. We are in World War I right now. And one of the biggest problems in World War I is they thought, well, the aristocrats run everything else in our society, so they should run our armies too. And they just put inexperienced people that didn't know what trench warfare was like, didn't know what the technology and weaponry was, as though they were just playing chess from remote castles, telling the armies where to move and to go. So for the first year, the reason why the massacres were so bad was because idiots in ivory towers were running armies instead of people on the ground that knew what the threats were running the men side by side. And so fortunately that somewhat changed throughout the course of the war. But what the internet did to society and to thought and to religion, to the spread and the conversation of ideas, is similar to what the Gutenberg press did to ideas in the 1400s. And it's similar to what the machine gun did to warfare in early World War I. It changed the ball game so completely that the old leadership models need be discarded and or at best reconsidered. And we got to do that here from top to bottom in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, is reconsider how we run things, how we lead things. Do not forsake our values at all. In fact, we, to better defend our values, need to modernize. So that's my thoughts.
Okay, ready for the next
anyway,
super
keep going.
chat?
Yeah, next super chat.
Rex Good says, some snarky gay LDS blogger once labeled me the Daniel C. Peterson of gay LDS.
Oh, hey. It's just a compliment. It means you've been through all four stages. In fact, Rex Good, either in another super chat or in a comment following up this super chat, please let us know, do you feel that you have gone through all 4 steps of a podcaster? Because methinks you have. You seem to have the attitude of somebody who's gone through all 4 steps, and now you're comfortable in your own shoes. You're loud, you're proud, you're confident, and you are one of the few. You're a spiritual Navy SEAL, bro.
What if he doesn't know the 4 steps? Maybe he came in late.
Oh, dude, Rex Good. He's always on time. He knows what the 4 steps were that we talked about earlier in the podcast, you know? So anyway, in relation to the earlier super chat where they asked, you know, how do you stand up? Look, I got to tell you, you got to get brave now. Get brave now. I sometimes can't exactly tell you how, because the how comes for your individual situation. But who was the previous super chatter again, babe?
Before Rex?
Yeah, before Rex. What was her name?
I got to scroll. Reevsters?
Reevsters. Okay, so Reevsters. Tips for how to stay buoyed up while experiencing persecution for speaking up about your beliefs. Also, just tuning in, not sure if you've already discussed it. You know what? I want to go more in depth with that. First off, here's some tips. Daily prayer, daily scripture study. All of the studies show that somebody who has daily prayer, who converses with their Lord, with their Savior, will not only just be more positive and healthy and, you know, well-adjusted and so on and so forth, but if you do that, daily scripture study, daily personal prayer, You will not go inactive. You will not have those darts of Satan, as Helaman calls it, or these really cruel, cynical, negative arguments made by the cry bullies and the secularists and the anti-Mormons. They just won't faze you, and they just won't affect you as much because you're wearing the armor of God. Like 90% of the armor of God is put on just through those daily, unglamorous, personal experiences that you have with the Spirit. All right. So how to stay buoyed up while experiencing persecution is just putting in that half an hour of scripture study and personal prayer. That is going to buoy you up. All right. And then second off is I can't tell you how, because I believe in starting with what you have, doing what you can from where you are right now. Okay. And what you can do and what you have and how you lift where you stand is going to depend wholly on you and where you are, what you have, and where you're standing. And I don't know where you are standing. I don't know what you have, what your natural talents are. But I do have faith that through personal prayer and through daily scripture study, that the Spirit will quicken you, okay, to know what those things are and guide you better than I ever could as a podcaster, okay? But yeah, do that and get brave now, not later. Ready is a lie. Do it now. You feel compelled to weave a tapestry of Jesus and hang it from your front door? If tapestries are your thing, do it. For me, podcasting's my thing.
Weave a tapestry.
You know, like I was just trying to think of the most off the freaking wall thing I could find. All right. You know, but like if interpretive dance is your thing, then boom shakalaka, do interpretive dance. But however you speak out and are loud and proud about your Savior, do it. That's all I got to say.
You need to make street art that says weave your tapestry.
Weave your tapestry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Next one.
Rex Good says, I skip the steps and I don't podcast yet. See, Rex and I mean, we get each other. I knew, I was like, maybe he doesn't know all the steps. And you said, yes, he does. And what did he say? I skipped the steps.
Oh, he was just saying he's ahead of the game. That's what he was saying.
Oh, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but anyway.
Well, now I look like an idiot.
No, I think you were vibing with him.
Oh, okay.
I think you were vibing with him.
Yeah, we have high vibes.
So anyway, high vibe it again because he got another one.
Oh. I did blog for a long time and went on TV, but I pretty much came out swinging.
So boom shakalaka.
There you go.
He's just an OG. Like blogging, it was the original podcasting before video was able to hit. Really 2014, 2015 was when video podcasting became a big deal. And pre-video podcasting, it was all about blogging. You know what I'm saying? That's where it was at. In fact, that's why they called it the bloggernacle, right? So Rex Good, he's kind of OG. He's kind of an OB, original blogger. Not original gangster, but original blogger, you know? So here, you know what, guys? We're having a lot of fun, and this is great. But I'm just going to go over a couple of these other comments here that I thought were kind of funny as like a little bit of an outro here. If you got any last super chats you want to get out of your system, then please, by all means, get them out of your system. But here's just some funny comments that I saw this week that I thought were pretty cool. I always love it. Like you can totally spot anti-Mormons a mile away. So the first comment that I looked at this week, right, was, but wait, I want to talk more about why there isn't, you know, and I'm like, oh gosh, look at this cat, right? So I pulled this up. Here it is in the comments. It says, but wait, I want to talk more about why there isn't a single semi-conclusive artifact that supports Book of Mormon America's history, right? And I went down there. I had to respond to this one. I thought it was hilarious that Kyle said Ward Radio living rent-free in Kevin DeWard 118's head. And it is so true. It is so true. If you don't deconstruct everything in your life to such a point that you believe Osama bin Laden's letter to America is like an affirmative good in this life, if you haven't deconstructed your Christian faith, then all of a sudden, you know, then you're the rube and you're the stupid one. It's so funny though. Like we live rent free in these people's heads. Really, they can leave the church, but they won't leave it alone. They can't do it, man. So I responded a different way. That was really funny. I don't know why Kevin. It's sad with the last name Ward. You think it'd be, smarter talking with Ward Radio. But anyway, he said, are you really going to block people for asking questions about the lack of archaeological evidence for Book of Mormon history? And I said, you could only wish you were blocked, but please keep speaking your racist ideas of the ancient Americans. The world knows how racist anti-Mormonism really is, because it's so true. They have no problems thinking that there was ancient people doing great things in Western Europe. Middle East, Nephites leaving. I don't know about that, but the Americas are great people. Until they, it's like they have no problem with anywhere where the folks are white, having done great things as ancients. But no, not in the ancient Americas. That's off limits. Those people are what, bro? Finish the sentence. So, unfortunately, archaeological anti-Mormonism is never rooted in truth. Okay. First off, it can't be, because less than 1% of the ancient Americas have been excavated. Less than 5% of the archaeological sites have been excavated. And within that 5%, there's actually overwhelmingly positive evidence towards some of the most important claims in the Book of Mormon that cannot be overlooked. So much so that I think that you're like a flat earther trying to debate me, bro, about the heliocentric nature of the orbit of the planets if you try and say, there ain't no evidence, bro. So anyway, sorry, Kevin. Didn't work out for you this time. But anyway, I'll bring this one up. It was pretty funny. He said, but wait, I want to talk more about why isn't a single semi-conclusive artifact that supports Book of Mormon America's history. Sorry, there is, man. You just missed it. And this is why I don't want to debate my bro with it. And I said, Kevin, asking for biblical or Book of Mormon archaeological evidence while asserting there is none is like a flat earther demanding proof that the sun circles the earth.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. The evidence is overwhelming.
I have a problem with that comment.
Yeah, I know you would. That's the funny part, man. That's the funny part right there. So anyway, this one was totally hilarious. I loved it too much. So yeah, the way I finished it was literally, I just said, even if you ask this question, you show you're blind to overwhelming evidence and not worth engaging with. It's like a flat earther asking for evidence of a heliocentric solar system. Good day, sir. And then, Stomp Mom dug it. And I dug Stomp Mom. She's awesome. And it was pretty hilarious. So I just remind people that, look, flat earthers can quote non-member scientists too. Sorry, your tribalism mixed with science is not edgy, scary, or desirable, because at the end of the day, we all got to admit that that's what it is. And we see it for what it is. So
I think it's flat.
I thought it was... You can't resist. Can't resist it. So anyway, I thought this was really interesting as well. In the video, he talked about wanting to publish through Deseret Book. Our guest did. And Maynard brought up a good point. Says, it's so idiotic that you had trouble publishing through Deseret Book when they published the book of Steve Young, the apostate. I thought that was a little bit harsh. I don't think it's apostate, but I think sometimes... he's been wooed by
really
seductive
fast.
Socialism a little bit. But
we have a member chat from Polly Nikes 2000. Cardin, what post-war wealthy generation ruins things? Oh, he's trying not to say it. Is it going to come out? Are you going to say it?
I'm not.
Oh.
I'm not going to say it.
Oh.
But I will say that it rhymes with Zoomer. And to a certain extent, we're all culpable a little bit. We have to take some humble pie here. I give credit where credit is due. There's great things the boomers did. Okay. But if there were a blind spot, it was not sending the elevator back down, which is a duty Ronald Reagan spoke about. And if there ever were a generation that lost freedoms, it was that one. And it may take us centuries to get those back, freedoms politically and also strength spiritually. Drastically lost. We sacrificed protectorship spiritually and putting on the armor of God for providership and filthy lucre, to be honest with you. So, anyway, here's some other funny comments. Thank you, D. Finn says, I'm impressed by the hecklers and how quickly they hopped in. They must be your biggest fans. It's true, man. We got some crazy people that go after us big time in every single video. And you know what? Thanks a lot, guys. You know who you are, but thanks a lot. And Spencer Landra says this show needs to be an everyday thing. And you know what? You're right, Spencer. It needs to be an everyday thing. And believe it or not, it actually is. Between the shorts, the live streams, and the videos, we actually do indeed post every single day. A couple more comments before we go.
Carter.
Yeah.
Do you have your phone on you?
Yeah, why?
I think your Siri is going off. Because I keep hearing Siri. I think
Wait, no.
it's trying to...
No, not my Siri.
Is it mine? It's not mine. Is there another? Oh, we're being tapped into.
Oh, maybe.
Someone's Siri is going off in this station.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, not mine. Not
Okay,
mine.
never mind.
This one I thought was interesting. I thought we could go over it together. To all the believers out there, don't cast your pearls before swine. To all those who take offense at this comment, think about why you enjoy rolling in your own mud and filth so much that you identified yourselves with this swine in this proverb. That's by Mike Catwood. Don't know who you are, but that one was pretty funny, bro. That one was pretty funny. And you're going to love this one, babe. I put this one up here for you.
Okay.
Natalie Scores by 6376 says, here to support BYU Idaho and Ward Radio in that order.
Atta girl, Natalie. I like what I see.
Yeah, you dug that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You dug that.
Class of 2012. Who's with me?
Boom shakalaka. Now, here's some interesting comments. Doesn't surprise me that a guy named Freedom or Bust weighed in on this one. But we got 10,000 views already on the video with Greg Mattson. Okay, talking about the deans at BYU who are, just having super woke discussions, which I'm fine with woke discussions as thought experiment and as, instigating an argument or a conversation. But if you're disallowing the conservative counterpoints and arguments, well, now methinks you got a problem. And this was interesting. He said, BYU professors are cowards. It's not complicated. Our ancestors suffered and were tortured to live their religion, and BYU professors are going to let Satan's philosophy run rampant in a school that uses tithing funds. Now, this is when I was like, whoa. He said, I'm going to pay 0% tithing, but use all that money for fast offerings instead, so not one dime goes to BYU and the fast offerings stay local.
Dang.
Bruh.
Shots fired.
I understand the sentiment and the frustration, but I do have to say, first off, I'm with you with the frustration. And we're used to voting with our dollars, but unfortunately, the kingdom of God, I don't think operates that way. Part of being on a team, this is one of the things that sucks, but there were tons of soldiers in World War II that were killed by friendly fire. It's a tragedy, and when you're on a team, sometimes they draft the wrong dude and he sucks at his position and you got to buoy him up. And, sometimes you got leaders out there that stink and there ain't no elections for apostles, bro. And sometimes we have to, I loved what Jim Bennett said, actually. Sometimes sustaining means sustaining in what you perceive as their weakness. And I believe we got to do that. So I understand your sentiment, that you're frustrated that people that are supposed to be guardians at the gate over our young minds in the church, with parents who've entrusted tens of thousands of dollars to their education, both spiritual and secular, are betraying that trust in actual measurably quantifiable ways. I totally understand that, but I think it's one step too far to
also,
say
I
that,
appreciate him saying he's going to pay 0%. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of tithing. I'm always like, Cardinal, let's do 5%. This guy went straight up to 0%.
No, I'm hardcore, baby.
Yeah, you're
that
like
10% right there.
You're like
baby.
11%.
Yeah, man. So, anyway, now of course, I get that he was probably speaking hyperbolically, and I'm not going to lambast his brother. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's hardcore. Oh, boom shakalaka. We got a couple more super chats. While I'm pulling these things up, babe, can you read the super chats?
Yes. Brandon Cole says, great show as always. Y'all are my first go-to channel for downloads to get through the Virgin River Gorge or on the drive up to Idaho. Dude, we were just talking about the Virgin River Gorge. That is terrifying. I hope you don't have an astigmatism.
Hey, but what do you do? What do you do in the Virgin River Gorge, babe?
I let you drive.
And what do I always put on?
We put on Flight of the Valkyrie.
Flight of the Valkyries.
It causes your anxiety to spike, and then you kind of just black out.
well, that seems drastic. That's almost as drastic as 0% tithing and all localized, what's it called? Fast offerings.
Yeah.
Hey, well, you want to know what else happened this week, babe, that I'm going to put up that wasn't just in the comments? Guess what it was, babe?
What?
Ba-ba-da-da. Ward Radio just hit 20K this week.
Oh, nice.
Yeehaw. So everybody here, thank you for being part of that. You know what I'm saying? We know that you guys, you help us out. With that said, please make sure that you like this stream. We're wrapping up right here. If you got any last burning questions that you want to add, please send a super chat our way, and we'll hopefully read them read them out loud live.
Yeah, I hope I read them alive. I don't want to be dead
Yeah.
and reading these super chats.
This one I thought was hilarious. If Jonah shaved his beard but kept his mustache, I think he could pass for a decent Tom Selleck doppelganger.
Oh,
Earlier they
I'm
said...
going to need a picture side by side to see. I can't really picture it in my head, but
Yeah.
I see where you're going with that.
Yeah, Tom Selleck. Now, if we could only get him to wear Tom Selleck's short shorts. He's got if he had the mustache, he would look just like Tom Selleck. Now we just need him in the short shorts. You know, so okay, got a couple of other ones here that I thought were pretty hilarious. So this one was funny when Brian
boy.
Stutzman came on. He literally said, "Where in the fiction section can I find this book?" Talking about Joseph Smith's fulfilled prophecies.
I like
by
your
day.
response. That's funny.
Yeah, I just said lame dad joke. I think that was funny. I'll take credit for that one. And you pointed this one out earlier, and it looks like Tigray 747 also did.
I knew we said it wrong. As soon as you said it, I was
Yeah.
like, chicken noodle, that doesn't sit right.
Yeah, it's true. So Tigray 747 points out that Cardin, it's chicken noodle soup for the soul,
No.
not chicken.
No, it's not chicken noodle soup.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, you read it. I'm doing it wrong.
Cardin. And you spelled his name wrong, but I'll forgive you.
Yeah.
Cardin, it's chicken soup for the soul, not chicken noodle soup for the soul. You've referenced it enough before to mention it here. No noodles in the soup books.
Yeah.
No soup for you.
That's right. Exactly. Okay, only four more left here. Jonah Barnes getting a lot of shout outs. Okay, getting a lot of shout outs.
Everyone loves the word
today.
librarian.
Yeah. Says, tell Jonah Barnes there is a descendant of William Bradford in my ward, and his name is ... William Bradford. He goes by Bill. Dude, there's a dude in her ward that's a descendant of William Bradford named William Bradford. That's pretty cool. Just like there was a professor at BYU named William Shakespeare that I thought was pretty cool. Anyway, it says, tell Jonah Barnes there is a descendant of William Bradford in my ward. His name is William Bradford. He goes by Bill. Are you related? I live in Logan. Well, Natalie, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of
I don't know.
ancestors.
I thought it was hilarious, though. She also said Baal equals socialism.
Oh, my gosh.
Based.
Oh, geez.
Based.
Karen, speaking of ancestors, what did I tell you today? This week?
Tell us all.
Do you know what I'm going with this?
Yeah. Ooh, got a couple of super chats here, too.
Okay, hold on. Let's do the super chats first.
No, tell us about your ancestor, then we'll read the super chats.
Okay, so found out. I've actually known for a while, but I found out more information about one of my ancestors. It's like my 13th great grandma. Okay, so it's back there. She was one of the 14 women that was hung in Salem during the witch trials. My ancestor, my great grandma. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Crazy. Her name is Anne Pudater or Pudater. You can look her up.
Okay, yeah.
It's my
What was her
13th.
story?
She was a midwife and a healer, and she had 5 kids. She had a husband. Her husband died. She was nursing this woman who was an alcoholic, and she died. And so then she married that woman's husband, which did not do any favors in the public spotlight on her, because he was also 20 years younger than her. And anyway, she was accused of witchcraft because she had oils that she would use for soap making and also for healing and midwifery.
Okay.
And they said it was her potions, and she was hung.
By
She
the way-
was 71 years old.
Was that the Mormons or was that the Protestants?
It was the Protestants.
Oh, the same Protestants that hunted down and murdered the Mormons less than 50 years later, right?
Probably the same.
Actually, no, not less than 50 years later, because the Salem witch trials were in the late 1500s, early 1600s.
No, 1692.
Oh, sorry. The late 17th century, because the 1600s are the 17th century, and you always have to go backwards like
Yes.
that. So then, yeah, brutal. Within 100 years, they were coming after the Mormons, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, jeez. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Keep going.
I think we have super chats. I'm trying to...
Hit the super chats, and I got the last 3 of our comments. And we're
Okay,
out.
Brandon Cole. He says, my music for the gorge is usually the William Tell Overture.
Oh!
Lone Ranger theme.
Dude.
That'd be a good one too. That was good.
Speaking of dad jokes and dad songs, you
Dad
know,
songs.
dude, the rest of these anti-Mormon comments are freaking hilarious, dude. So this one came up in my chat, right? Comment on Thanksgiving versus communism in the United Order. Joseph's Thanksgiving meal included all the ladies. You know, and then homeboy says, you seem jealous of that. And then I just said, yawn, only guys who can't get girls make these kind of jokes, man.
Oh, boy.
Oh, that was savage. I shouldn't have been that savage. I should have been more Russell M. Nelson-y. So
Higher
I'm gonna have
vibes, Cardin.
Yeah, higher vibes. But it's true, man. Whenever
But
your
also
dad's
that
joking,
comment, the original comment, it's kind of annoying. It's kind of like,
yeah, it's like,
whatever.
And then there was another good one here that I liked. This one's interesting. I have to look it up.
Okay, then we have a member chat.
Yeah, I haven't heard this one in a long time. But talking about Joseph Smith's fulfilled prophecies with our boy Brian Stutzman right here. Gateway had a problem with it, called the sharpshooter fallacy. And
I don't know what that is.
I'm so tired of all of the fallacies because they're always used as supposed philosophical weapons against us. So I said, yay, another fallacy that's not a fallacy to add to the fantastically fallacious list of fallacies that make philosophers think that they're furiously factual, but really is just a bunch of garbage. And why? Because they used to call the slippery slope fallacy a fallacy until, guess what? We reached the bottom of the slippery slope. If you don't think the slippery slope is real, then come to Los Angeles, where every argument made in the 80s and 90s against socialism has become true. From the homeless crisis to the move-out crisis to the everything else crisis, the real estate crisis, all of these crises, all right, are the bottoms of what you guys used to call the slippery slope. All the secularists and the anti-Mormons and the anti-religionists. So don't come at me with this idea that, oh, arguments you don't like are a fallacy. The ad hominem fallacy, the slippery slope fallacy, the red herring fallacy, the straw man fallacy. They're all not fallacies. They're real. They're functional aspects of conversation that you're not good at. So you try and shame them because that's all that proto-Marxism and cultural Marxism can do is shame. And you're a crybully. And if any Mormons give into this nonsense, they're enabling crybullyism. So stop it and don't allow people to say that your arguments are fallacious. Now, with that said, there are some fallacies, but like I'd say 90% of the references to philosophical fallacies are really just, what did I say that was pretty awesome? This was a killer alliteration. I said a fallacy that's not a fallacy to add to the fantastically fallacious list of fallacies that make philosophers think they're furiously factual. I'm funny.
You love alliteration.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, last super chats, babe. Then we got to get out of here. We're 42 minutes over.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy.
Yeah. Okay, Big Daddy D. Joe says,
Big Daddy D!
For our reorganized brothers and sisters who in a past cast mentioned raising people from the dead, according to Elder Packer, those keys are not yet restored.
Huh.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not privy to the inner workings of that argument, but I got to tell you, I've heard beautiful things from the Bickertonites that I believe. And I think there's a lot of Spirit of God over there. That's a beautiful thing. And I wish them well. And yeah, it's beautiful, the things that I've heard. I want to know more what this guy says, because I think Elder Packer, his delivery sometimes rubbed me wrong, I'll be honest. All right, definitely a better writer than a speaker. And the little factory.
Okay, moving on. Okay, super chat from Stephen Diamond. He says, almost missed the live stream. I sent in as much of the lore of the Temple Rocks as I could before you guys come out. Maybe do a live show at BYUI.
Oh, boom, shock.
I would love to go back to BYU, Idaho.
This guy is the squeaky wheel that gets the grease.
Yes.
This guy will get greased somehow. That did not sound right.
No, it did not. You're going to get clipped on that one.
I'm going to get clipped on that one. But yeah, no joke. Like, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. This guy's going to get hooked up. So anyway, any last things you want to say before we go?
Should we...
What?
Should we tell people where we're going to be this week or no?
No. But maybe I'll make that a community post. That could be
okay.
Cool. You know what
Make
I'm
it a
saying?
community post.
Yeah, well, we won't divulge that yet, But we got lots of really good stuff coming up, and it's going to be pretty cool. Some great announcements that are coming up, and they're pretty fun. They're pretty awesome. Anything big you want to say before we go? Because, boy, we got to shut this down, babe.
Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys eat lots of... My favorite is stuffing, but...
Really?
Yeah, and cranberry sauce.
Oh, but the yams. It's all about the yams.
I like yams. Babe. I'm just saying. I eat yams
turkey.
and sweet potatoes a lot, but stuffing and cranberry sauce, I don't always get that.
Okay, cool.
And
awesome.
It's our anniversary. Did you remember?
Yeah,
this
but
week?
Not Thanksgiving Day.
Not Thanksgiving Day.
No, we're talking Thanksgiving. We ain't gonna talk about what we're doing on the anniversary, if you know what I'm saying, because that might be a little bit inappropriate. For
Okay,
community
you
guidelines
sound like
on
Marvin
YouTube,
Gaye right now.
now.
We gotta go.
Yeah.
Things are getting nutty. We gotta go.
That's funny. Well, you heard it from Brittany the Shadow herself. Things be getting nutty. We gotta go. With that said, it's been real and it's been fun. It's been real fun. So we'll see you guys in the next program. Before you go, make sure you like this stream. Make sure you share it with your friends and you subscribe and sign up for our email list on wardradio.com. Also, if you haven't had a chance yet, please consider donating through Venmo or also the Cash App. You can look us up at Ward Radio Show on the Cash App, or you can look us up at Midnight Mormons or at Ward Radio Show on Venmo. Other than that, it's been real.